My name is Jeff Ely, and I am delighted to welcome you here to the chapel here at the Clarence Thomas Center for Historic Preservation. This building became part of the SCAD campus about 2001, and in very much a SCAD way, it's gone through a variety of changes. It went from a boys' dormitory, and then later became the center of our fiber study, which has now moved to the school building just across the street from you, Harriet. A beautiful building that they've done there. And with their departure, the opportunity for the Historic Preservation Program at the Savannah College of Art and Design had an opportunity to move into this space. And while I've been at the college for quite some time, recently I've moved over here to chair the Historic Preservation Department. And when Ron called about looking for spaces for a meeting and for a presentation, we thought this would be a great place to bring members of the Victorian Society. Now, what about this shutter? Well, in addition to gaining way too much weight over the last few months, the reason for this shutter is that it's a Victorian shutter. It's a very important Victorian shutter. And it's a Victorian shutter that our students are currently working on. Is Jim here? Jim back there? There's Jim. Jim Abraham. Please stand. Member of the Victorian Society, a member of our faculty. Would you tell everybody a little bit about this artifact that I displayed for everybody to see?
What year was Hay House built?
The Hay House was built, completed in the 1850s.
Okay. Well, this shutter is from the Hay House in Macon. A year ago, we had 20 of these shutters here for a restoration project that the students did. Hay House invited us again to look at another group of shutters in another room of the house, so they've been transported back to us. We take them apart, we document them first, take them apart, do the photography so we have a complete assessment of the condition of that shutter. And then in the past, we have had to also do some repair work. This one looks like it has one little louver here. I counted them this morning, and there are 10 louvers that we have to figure out how to get them to work again or fit pieces back together. After that's all done, then the last group we painted. The exciting thing about this project is they come from a room where everything is grained. So rather than these just being painted, they're going to be grained. And then the Hay House is sending into us a conservator from a company in Atlanta who has been doing the graining in the house. And so he's going to do a lecture and a demonstration for our students of the graining process, and then the students will grain all of these shutters. And then late November, at least by the end of our fall quarter, we'll load up all the shutters, all the students, put them in vans, take them up to Macon, and they get to see the house where they go, and they get a tour and a pizza party and all that. So this is a really exciting project and a real-time project for us. Yeah.
Well, we're real delighted. We work very carefully to try to find ways to connect students and our coursework to projects that are kind of real-world experience. And so this is a win-win for everybody. And for those of you who are already familiar with the Hay House, you know it is the most remarkable residence constructed in the Victorian age in Georgia. And that's, I hope I haven't offended anybody in this particular room. We have many grand ones, but the Hay House is by far the most over the top and the most expensive. And so to have a relationship with the Hay House and with them or through them, the Georgia Trust, is another terrific opportunity for our students. And we thank them for their work, and I just thought that since it's Victorian, I thought it'd be something that you might enjoy seeing. My involvement with the Victorian Society began when I applied to a program in London. At about the same time that I moved to Savannah and became connected with individuals who were part of the Victorian Society back in the early 1980s. I applied to that program in London. I was 3 years old. But it was one of the most exciting and extraordinary experiences that I've ever had the opportunity to take. And I know that it is the summer schools that the Victorian Society does are transforming experiences for those that participate. And it's not just for students at a particular age, but it's for students at all ages. So it's something to be thinking about. I'm so delighted to see the Victorian Society coming together again. I think my fondest memory of the Victorian Society, if you'll just indulge me for one other moment, is in the 1980s when, as part of the Victorian Society at that time, we, the Society, invited a professor of mine from the University of Virginia, Jim Cox, to come down and speak. It was a remarkable evening at that particular juncture, and even more remarkable is it became the connection that had Jim and Ron choose to come to Savannah and be part of our community, or actually to be the central focus for many of us. They are a terrific addition to Savannah. And so the Victorian Society simply does a little more of those things. It's done brilliant things for our community. After the meeting tonight, after the presentation and the meeting, we certainly invite you to take a look around the building. I'll be here and be able to address any other questions. It is, after all, the former convent of the Franciscan nuns. And so you can wander through some of the spaces where they lived and also where they took care of their particular duties and in the early part of the 20th century. We won't worry that it's an Edwardian building instead of the Victorian one. But we're so glad you're here. Welcome to this building. And Ron?
Jean Cradle is going to say a few words also.
Hello, my name is Jamie Cradle. I'm the director of the Davenport House Museum, and we're getting towards October, and I don't know if any of you know, but that's yellow fever time at the Davenport House. So I just wanted to let you know. Now, when was Victoria born? She became queen in 37. Is that right, you? So around 1820. That works. Okay, and that's what we interpret the 1820. So it's kind of all fits, but. Every October, we put on an original theater production in our museum house on the yellow fever epidemic of 1820. It really is sort of thrilling. This year, our event will be talking about the discussions between the two newspapers because they had different perspectives on whether there was an epidemic happening or not. You'll be taken through the house by candlelight and meet one of our free persons of color who's a terrific interpreter, so I hope that if that interests you that you'll call us up. Also, I've got an announcement from the Owens Thomas House, sort of in the same vein. They'll be putting the house into mourning during the month of October, and they will be doing a living history interpretation on the 27th of October on morning practices. So if you're interested in that, do look up on the Telfair's website. And just to carry this one step further, the Davenport House is having its first lecture series in November. And on November the 7th, a gentleman from Clemson will be coming down to speak on 19th century death and dying customs on the 7th at 7 o'clock in the Kennedy Pharmacy. And on the 14th at 7 o'clock, one of the most wonderful interpreters I've ever heard, a lady named Veronica Gerald from Coastal Carolina University, who is an authority on Gullah and Geechee culture. And her talk, let me see if I can say it right, All Shut I Ain't Sleep, homegrown practices in the Low Country. So I hope that you'll avail yourself of all these wonderful programs.
Thank you, Jim. So we're very fortunate tonight to have Shannon Shaker speaking on her experience at the summer school in Newport. I know she enjoyed it. She has her schedule with her, so if you want to see just how packed and interesting this event is for someone to attend, she's got all the paperwork to show you. Shannon gave me a little bio, which I'm going to try to read, but I have to use glasses to do that. She's been interested in architecture and its history from a very young age, attending Iowa State University. She graduated with a BA in photography, art, and architecture history. Following her undergraduate degree, she interned for the State Historical Society of Iowa, stimulating her interest in preservation. Currently attending the Savannah College of Art and Design, obtaining her Master's of Fine Arts in Photography. She continues to follow her interests in preservation and architecture through programs such as the Victorian Society of America Summer School, Workshop in Newport, Rhode Island,